The Edge at Hudson Yards, the highest outdoor observation deck in New York City. Hi, I'm Marod, a licensed New York City tour guide, and today I'm going to visit The Edge and see what it's all about. I consider myself a bit of an expert when it comes to New York City observation decks, but I've never been to The Edge. So I want to figure out if it's worth all of the hype that it's been getting online. So we're going to go explore and find out. But first, hit subscribe so you never miss a New York Minute.
Yeah, muffin talk. Ooh, muffin talk. Muffin talks, bringing healing to those who need it most.
The Edge at Hudson Yards is located in Hudson Yards, a huge complex that when it's finished, it's going to cost over $25 billion. Now, the entrance of the Edge is in part of Hudson Yards, which has this really upscale shopping mall. So I'm now in this upscale shopping mall and going to try to find the entrance to the Edge. The first thing that I have noticed is that it's kind of hard to find the entrance to the Edge. I found this sign that has quick bites at Hudson Yards. I found this sign that said the restaurants at Hudson Yards, and I noticed that it says Peak, which I know is the restaurant at the Edge. I was waiting by these elevators. I didn't see a lot of great signs. There is one sign here that says don't lift a finger. These elevators are a touchless ride to the Edge. It says for Edge. That's like the best signage that I've seen so far. Got off the elevator, we see the sign that says New York Edge. I guess this is the gift shop to the Edge. We're still in the shopping mall. There's like a Dylan's candy bar there, and I guess we're gonna go over to these. We actually bought our tickets online in advance, so I guess we'll see if we have to pick up our tickets or redeem our tickets. So it turns out that all I had to do on my email confirmation was click view tickets, and my tickets were there, and we're able to go in. There's no line. It's awesome. So we just got in. We're now in this room that shows a movie. David pointed out that it shows Old New York and New New York. We made it through security. We're at this place where they talk about there's exciting noises coming from the next room. It says building a city on stilts. I really like this. It talks about the construction of Hudson Yards, which was quite an engineering feat. They talk about how it's built on top of caissons, which is also what the Brooklyn Bridge is built on top of. So there's a parallel there. We're now gonna go into this room that has the crazy sounds. It's really pretty. I think that this is supposed to give us the impression of Hudson Yards being built. I think it's supposed to give us the impression of like Hudson Yards being built underground. This is cool. Yeah, this looks like the construction of the caissons on either side of us. So it's taking us back in time to the construction of Hudson Yards. Whoa! Robot assistant. Oh no, the robot assistants are gone. Flying cars. Apparently Hudson Yards is going to help bring us to flying cars. That's really cool. I think it's fun. Engineered Earth. Hudson Yards is creating 14 acres of new parks in a place where no land existed before. I think that this is really interesting. So a lot of people, when they think of Manhattan, they just assume that like Manhattan was always here. But I believe that Manhattan is like 25% larger than it was when like the English first came in 1664. So, this is actually built on landfill, and it's really great that they're like really taking it upon themselves to create more green space in New York City. And here they'll talk about the biodiversity. 30,000 plants native to New York. Like for New York City, planting 30,000 plants, that's a big deal. Thank you, Hudson Yards. I didn't know where to go because this door keeps opening and closing, but the experience continues here. This is where we're gonna go in the elevators, and I've been told the elevators are really cool. just got off the elevator ride. We're getting our very first view from Hudson Yards. However, I'm gonna really wait to talk about the view until we get onto the main sky deck. I just wanted to point out this elevator ride was really, really cool. Something I love is how every observatory has been trying to tell their own unique story with the elevator rides. So this one seemed to speak to the design. It started out with like a sketch pad, and then we saw the city becoming reality before our eyes. If you watch my video about One World Observatory, you'll see it tells the history of the city. We start out when it was Lenape Indians all the way through until the creation of One World Trade Center. So let's go head downstairs so we can get the great views. I know that I'm backlit, so maybe I should just be doing interesting poses. I wanted to point out that there is an indoor area here at the edge that's important in case there's inclement weather. You can still come and get great views, but what's really, I hear, super special about the edge is outside. So we're gonna head outside to the main sky deck and see if it's worth the hype. When I heard about the edge online and when I see photos online, everybody is taking a photo from that corner right there. That's like the money shot. If you're an influencer, that's where you want to get your photo. This is the line to get your photo in that area. I don't know that I personally feel like waiting in that line because there's a lot of other great things to explore, but I just wanted to point out, like, that's the area if you're looking for those great photographs. If you look at my feet, you will notice that I am standing on a glass floor. So this is like one of the things that people love about the edge. I'm gonna sit down and try to look like I'm just lounging. The height of this observation deck is 1,131 feet. So I am looking straight down 1,131 feet below me. And there was no line to actually come here. So you could like lie down, get your photos, have the sunshine on you, and have that really fun experience. And it is really cool to look straight down and feel like you're flying. And that's a feature that the Edge has that none of the other observatories have. So if you want to feel like you're walking in the sky, this is the place to go. This is actually really cool. So everything, there's these glass windows all around, and they're slightly bent forward, and it's really trippy. If you lean forward, you feel like you're gonna fall. It's really scary, but that's really cool. Like if you're a thrill seeker, I haven't experienced that from any other observatory. You can see that I'm even like nervous to even pose and lean backwards. Oh my goodness, that's it shouldn't be as thrilling as it is, but it's really, really thrilling. So if you're looking for a more exciting experience, this will like fit the bill. Wow, that's really cool. I'm gonna let David try it. I also want to take a moment and talk about the view. Every observation deck in New York City offers its own unique view. If you can go to all four, I recommend that. This view is glorious. I love that there's no ceiling. It really feels like you are in the sky. From where I'm standing right here, you can see One World Trade Center off in the distance. You can see the Statue of Liberty. You can see all of Lower Manhattan. I see the Williamsburg Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. I do see the Brooklyn Bridge. So you can see all three bridges. This is a beautiful, iconic view. You also have the Hudson River. And one of the things that I was actually worried about was that this wasn't going to get a 360-degree view the way that some of the other observation decks do, but it does. There's a little bit over there where you can get a great view of New Jersey. Woohoo! From this view, you get to see the Empire State Building. You get to see the East River. I feel so disoriented because it's shaped like a triangle and not a circle or a square. But yeah, you're seeing the East River over there. And then you get to see construction, which some people might be like, oh, construction. Hudson Yards is a complex that's continually being built. And look how cool it is. Like you get to see a crane on top of a building. Like that must be, I'm just guessing, but that's like a crane that's 800 feet up in the sky. And I get lots of questions from tourists about those cranes, like how do they get so high up in the sky, and they just kind of gradually raise them as the building goes up. And I think that's a really, really unique view. It's exciting, you get to see it. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong, but David actually pointed out, if you look at this crane, off to the left of the crane, you'll see this, I guess, like wooden circle, and we think that that's going to be a water tower that's going to provide water to that building. And lots of New Yorkers or lots of visitors to New York are always amazed at how many of our buildings have water towers on top of them. And that's because it helps with the pressure. If you're on, floor 100, it's much harder if they're like pumping water up to floor 100 for your shower. So if you want like good high pressure shower, you want that water to be coming from above you. So I think this is really unique. This is something that you can't get anyplace else. I just wanted to point out, there's that one area where all the influencers like to take their photos that have a really long line. Here on the northeast corner, there's another great photo place that doesn't have a line. And the best way to get the photo that all the influencers take is you actually want to go inside, and you have whoever's taking the photo like run around, and they take the photo from inside while they're looking at you there. So that's a pro tip if you're trying to get that photograph that everybody wants at the edge. Yeah, so I thought that this whole thing was a staircase. It's not. These are apparently like benches or something for people to sit on. And then this little narrow area is a staircase. So we're gonna go explore and see what's up the staircase. As I was walking up these stairs, I noticed this really pretty rainbow colored glass. At first I thought, oh, it's just really pretty rainbow colored glass. It actually turns out that it's an art installation. The Edge partnered up with Born This Way Foundation, and they actually recommend that when you're posting about social media, you do messages that affirm love and celebrates everyone for who they are. I personally think that is so important. Every year I actually raise money for Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, which is another organization. It does so much good in the universe, including being LGBTQ+ outreach. So Born This Way Foundation, Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. David actually pointed out that when you're looking through this glass, you are looking at the city through rainbow colored glasses. It's literally forcing you to see every color of the rainbow. And New York City is one of the most diverse cities in the world. There are over 800 different languages spoken in New York City. Just my neighborhood of Harlem alone has over 400 different churches. So if you do come to New York City, I encourage you to celebrate every single person that lives here. And I love that The Edge partnered with Born This Way Foundation. This fills my heart with so much gladness. I love that they are putting that love energy out into the universe. I took the stairs upstairs, I saw the beautiful art installation, and I discovered what is upstairs. It is an indoor part of the observation deck. This is great, again, if the weather is really bad, if the weather is really cold or really hot, you can still come here and get great views of the city. There's also a champagne bar. You know how my heart loves champagne. So if you are looking for some refreshments, this is the place to go. They actually have, over here, they have tables where you can sit down, or you can stand at one of these tables where I was and stand and get this glorious view of New York City. Empire State Building. This is actually my favorite view that I have seen from the Edge so far, because you get this head-on view of the Empire State Building, and I always get excited when I see the Empire State Building. Here's the secret shot spot. So again, I walked up those stairs. This is I believe this is the highest level. And if you look down, you'll see all the people on that outdoor observation deck. And I believe that I actually saw some of the influencer photos, if you're looking for those, where the cameraman actually stands up here on the upper deck, and the subject of the photo stands at that very popular corner. Also, pro tip, I suspect that if you come really early in the morning, that's when you're going to be able to get in that corner without a long line. So that's a pro tip. This is a great view. I love this window. This top floor is also where you will find the bathrooms. They're very luxurious, single occupancy only bathrooms, and they are all gendered bathrooms. So one at a time, all gendered bathrooms. And I think that that's really great that they're continuing that theme of love and acceptance and making space for everyone. Way to go, The Edge. I'm back on the staircase bench area, which I imagine is a place where if you just want to stare at this stunning view, you can just sit down and take it in, observe the city below. It really does look like you can see forever. I'm looking out past the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. I'm looking out past the area of New Jersey that actually wraps around, so it's kind of wrapped around Staten Island. You almost feel like you're flying. So I'm gonna sit down and just take some time to take the city in and enjoy the view. As I sit here observing the view from the edge, I was talking to David and asking him, since we went to One World last week, what does he think? Does he think that the edge is worth the hype? Does he think that one is better than the other? And we essentially concluded that they both offer different experiences. But one thing that I think is truly unique about the edge from all the other observatories, I feel like I have to stand up. In all the other observatories, I'm very aware that I am facing north, I am facing south, I am facing west, or I am facing east. But from this area where David and I are sitting right now, we can see everything. I mean, the one thing that we can't really see really great from right here is New Jersey, but from here I see One World, I see Statue of Liberty, I see the bridges, I see the Empire State Building, I can see all of New York City. I can see the Bronx, I can see Queens, I can see Brooklyn from this one spot. And that's something that's really unique that I think the other observatories don't offer in their very unique experiences. So if you really want to take in the whole city in like one breath, this is the place to go. And I would actually say the staircase is the place to stand. It's really remarkable. And the fact that it's all outdoors here, you just feel like you're one with the sky. It's great. I love it. I would strongly recommend coming. It's now time for us to leave. We spent a little over an hour there. I mean, you could literally sit there for hours and hours and hours at the edge and get a great view. I think an hour was a good amount of time for me and David. And we're now going to find the elevator to head back downstairs and see if it's as cool as the elevator ride back up. Just finished the elevator ride down from the edge. It was a fun, kind of created this idea that the elevator was a flying elevator flying around Hudson Yards. It was very similar to One World Observatories elevator. Everybody in our elevator car was remarking about how awesome that elevator was. We get dropped off right here in Hudson Yards. You can go to Dylan's Candy Bar. This is not the location that was featured in Gossip Girl, but Dylan's Candy Bar was featured in Gossip Girl. And you can shop around Hudson Yards, and afterwards you can go to a place like the Vessel, which is just outside. So we're gonna head outside, and then I'll tell you my kind of concluding thoughts about the edge. My final thoughts about the edge at Hudson Yards. I had a glorious time. The views were so unique compared to the other observation decks. I loved the excitement and the thrill of those like slightly angled windows. Even after spending an hour there, I was still really scared to lean back. So if you're looking for more of an exciting experience, that's great. There's also so many amazing photo opportunities. So if you are somebody who's looking to take great photos, that's a great observation deck for you. The glass floor was a little bit smaller than I had imagined in my head and wasn't as, scary as I imagined it, but it was still fun to look down, 1,000 feet below you at the city. And I thought that the overall experience was really, really great. So Conclusion, yes, it's absolutely worth the hype. I would say that if you're a New Yorker, you get a slight discount, so make sure if you're buying your ticket online that you click that you are a New Yorker and include your zip code. And if you have, about $35, $40 a person to spend, it's a great way to spend an hour in New York City. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit subscribe. I have tons of videos about New York City. We're going to cover all of the observation decks so you can make a great decision for your own trip, and make sure that you never miss a New York Minute. Thank you so much for watching.